The prayer skill is arguably one of the most important available in the entire game, allowing players to protect both themselves and their items from disaster, while also allowing them to deal incredible amounts of damage. In this series I'll be using it to the fullest while trying to complete some of the most difficult PvM challenges and making sure an altar is always close by. This is my altar chunk Ironman. Hey everyone, and welcome back for episode 7. I kinda got swept up into Elden Ring pretty hard the last week or so, which put me a little behind on this account, but we're back with plenty of content ahead. I was finally able to start in on my Barrows runs, which you'll see in just a minute, but I also took the time to knock out a few more quests and spend plenty of time with the temple trekking minigame to start getting my Slayer up. I tried doing Barrows in various ways, whether it was killing all 6 of them, or just killing the melee brothers, or even just killing a singular brother to see how fast I could do the run. Obviously, the less brothers I kill, the less of a chance I had of getting a piece of gear, but I was curious how many chests I could do per hour even with a really bad drop rate. You'll see for yourself how well or just how poorly some of these attempts went, but it showed me a lot about what I'll need to consistently knock out chest runs and still have a decent chance of getting a piece of gear. I also made some drastic changes to what I plan to use for my Barrows runs, but I'll explain all of that as we go ahead with the video. I've never actually done Barrows runs except a few times on my main account, and even then I've done so few, I'm not even on the high scores for it I don't think, which means I would have had to have done like less than 50 or something. So there was a lot for me to learn about gear setup and the best method to kill them. Thankfully a few comments did help me out with that, so I adjusted my gear setup as best I could. I still plan to fight a full Mystic just because it's a matter of getting the gold, but I've set aside the plan to get the Mage Arena items. The accuracy boost would be nice and all, but since the brothers have a negative magic defense anyways, being tanky would work a lot better for me. But now, let's get into the first few attempts. Okay, so here comes the very first chest. I wanted to try killing as many brothers as I could, and Aram's wasn't going to happen. My range setup is mild at best, and even with his negative defense to ranged, I still couldn't kill him. Carol's wasn't too bad, actually. He did take a full prayer pot, so I'm not sure if I'm going to keep killing him on these runs. I might just stick to the melee brothers just because I can tank most of their hits and my mage takes care of the rest. I also did forget teleport runes, so that's super annoying. I actually don't know if you can walk back out here. I think there's a ladder somewhere, but I could just home teleport. But I expect nothing from this chest. Like 3 pieces probably isn't too much to ask for, but you know, or nothing. Nothing is cool too. It's only the first chest, so no big deal. I actually decided I'm just going to stick with the tanking method, so I got to get my rune chain body and my rune plate legs back. I had to high oak them for some money to pay for, I think, the soul runes to build my portal. But anyway, I'm also going to get the dragon defender. I can't get a rune kite shield easily, so this is going to be the next best option. It probably won't take me too long, so hopefully I'm not stuck here forever. And there we have our rune defender. That only took, I think, 40, maybe 45 cyclops skills, so yeah, I can grab that and head for the basement and get started on the dragon defender grind. You know, they really robbed us of getting a hill giant pet by not making this little guy drop from Obor. Like, you have, what, 2 or 3 free-to-play bosses? Imagine how cool it would be as a free-to-player to get that boss drop. That would just be perfect before becoming a member. Yes, finally. I had to refuel my token stack like 1.5 times. I think I did like 2,000 or maybe 1,500 tokens total for this, but yes, the Dragon Defender is mine, it's done, I can get out of here and get back to Barrows. So I came up on chest 20, and for whatever reason, I guess I just decided to forget I was killing only the melee brothers and left without killing Varric, so that was a misdraw. So I may or may not have forgotten to record opening chest 30 and 40 like right before I left, but I didn't know you could get random events in your house. All that time I spent doing the limestone and building the portals and all that, and I don't think I ever got a single one, at least not that I can remember, but that's kind of interesting. Coming in with chest number 50 on the Torag's only kill. I know it makes my drop chance basically 0, but I just wanted to see how many chests per hour I could get in if I just kill one of the melee brothers. I wanted to take a break from Barrows, so I figured it was time to go ahead and knock out the chain of quests I'd have to do to unlock both routes for temple trekking. It also let me whip out some of my prayer pot since I was barely using any at Barrows with only doing certain brother kills with tank gear. Nature Spirit and In Search of Myrek were really fast, and even In the Aid of Myrek wasn't too bad. Getting the Mithril Bar for the Avondis staff was easy enough. I just had to kill the paladins in the Arty Castle until they dropped one for me to grab. I also got really lucky because the general store owner that you talk to during Aid of Myrek will either ask you for mackerel or snail meat, and I got the snail meat pick. I could have just fished for them ahead of time, but I wanted to chance it and just get the quest done. Darkness of Hallavale was the last quest I had to do because it lets me do temple trekking from both Bergderot and the safe chunk from the temple that you visit during Priest in Peril. Even with a ton of prayer pots, this one made me sweat a little bit, but worst case scenario, I could just run for my life to the Theater of Blood, which I unlocked the chunk for, and teleport from there, which is what I ended up doing when I had to go back to a different location after visiting the rundown part of the city multiple times. Also, something I wanted to talk about really quick was regarding killing quest bosses, since I do gain XP from fighting them. I still won't actively train in a danger zone, but when it comes to quest content, this can officially become my second exception, since it's not like I'll be sitting there forever just gaining free XP. A lot of quest bosses actually do give you 0 or severely reduced XP anyways. But after my 50th trip to the hideout area and finishing off Darkness of Hallowale, I could finally get started on temple trekking. If you ever do temple trekking, just skip this bog area every time. It'll take you less time to go back and restart than to finish this godforsaken puzzle. Now this is where temple trekking finally pays off. You can spam the easy route without much issue, especially since you can just skip the melee areas and keep running. Apart from Slayer, I also got some agility and thieving books, so watching all that XP roll in is such a good feeling. I just have to remember to turn my prayer on when I'm getting close to Bergderot, since I didn't unlock the chunk, so until I turn around and leave, it's gotta be turned on. Dude, that's so awesome seeing my total level finally hit 1,000. I can lock the account down permanently now, and just like seeing all the Slayer levels, and especially the agility levels, it's just... temple trekking is awesome, man. Like, I understand why people don't do it a lot, but it's pretty great for me. I've been neglecting my prayer level pretty much ever since I unlocked overheads, which is kind of stupid considering it's the biggest part of this account, so I wanted to spend some time getting it up and unlocking the last set of prayers I can actually use before I'll have to do a couple of quests to unlock Preserve, Chivalry, and Piety, which means I can finally head down into the Forthos dungeon and start using the Sacred Bone Burner. To get there, first I have to kill the Shade Beast, which will give me the Temple Coin to unlock the room with a Bone Burner. An easy fight with prayer pots, and then I can move on to the Red Dragons in the temple, which can easily be safe spotted. It takes 100 of either dragon or baby dragon bones to start gaining 300% XP by using it, and getting to 200 will give me the temple key. The key unlocks the metal doors on both sides of the temple, which make it easier to get around to the grubby chest and the undead druids above it. There's an altar right next to them that I can use after killing the Shade Beast, so this will actually be a great training spot for ranged and melee in the future since I'll never have to leave for food. There's the first 100 bones down, and now I can actually gain XP from this thing. It really sucks though that there's no NPC down here to unnote bones. I mean, I understand why, but even if you had to pay like more than you do out in the wilderness, it'd be pretty nice, but that'd be a little more abusable. Going to be coming in with 45 prayer, and that's going to give me retribution. Just a few more levels to go and 2 more prayers before I actually have to start worrying about doing those quests at least a little later on. I was thinking about what I want to do after I'm done with the Bone Burner, and I'll probably go back to temple trekking before doing more Barrows runs. Hitting 55 Slayer and being able to use Magic Dart would be nice because the max hit is actually a lot higher than either of the blast spells, at least for me anyway. The max hit, it's equal to, I think it's a 10th of your magic level plus 10, so right now I could hit an 18. If I could somehow get a Tome of Fire, the max hit for Fire Blast would go way up, but since I can't, Magic Dart's still going to be the best option. It sucks though because making money on this account is pretty slow, and I'm still going to need a lot of Death Runes to finish off Barrows. Even with the hand rooms and all that jewelry, it's still not the greatest. I was honestly thinking about unlocking the Agility Pyramid since it's right next to Soften Him, and there is an altar there, and you get 10k every time you reach the top. I was looking it up, and most posts say you shouldn't do it below like 55 or 60 agility because you'll just fail too much, but I figure after like a little more temple trekking, I'll be a lot closer to those levels, and it'll still be a pretty good source of money for me to have. The other thing I want to do is kill Warp Jellies under Kuren because they can drop Mithra Boots and Rune Kite Shield, which will make me a lot tankier when I go back to Barrows. After the first 50 chests, I'm pretty sure I'll just stick to killing the melee brothers because if I killed Darox first, I could do entire runs without any prayer pots at all. I just have to bring my potatoes. I still bring one though just because if Darox ends up being the chest boss, then I have to make sure I can restore my prayer by the time I get to him, since the minigame constantly drains your prayer down. Carols can be done too, but I'd honestly rather wait until I get a piece of gear from the Melee Brothers, preferably a chest, which is almost, I think, like triple the score of the Rune Chain Body. It's something close to that, but at least with that I can tank his hits more reliably. I'm also pretty sure I'll never worry about killing Arams. His gear is really good and all, but I just need a better weapon to kill him faster. It's not that I can't kill him right now, but I'm more worried about preserving resources for future bossing content like God Wars, so it'll just save me a lot of time in the long run if I don't really worry about it. I can go for him later, but for now I'm definitely going to stick to the Melee Brothers and just focus on getting tankier. I kind of ran out of runes and money while I was killing the dragon, so I figured why not just come back to temple trekking until I can bang out 55 Slayer. After that, I'll probably go ahead and move my house to Palna Beach, which will give me a really short trip over to the Agility Pyramid. I'll probably stay until I earn, like, I was thinking maybe a mil or two, because that'll buy me a ton of death runes. They're actually the same price at the Mage Arena as they are at the Wizards Guild, but the Guild is just way more convenient because I'll be teleporting there a ton during my Barrows runs anyway. I had to do the Hand in the Sand quest to unlock the Guild shop, but it was really short, and I only had to burn up like a prayer potion or two. That's why you see the notification in my chat to go get my free sand buckets. Actually, after I hit 55 Slayer, I'm not even sure I'll need to do temple trekking for much else anymore, because by that time I won't really fail the Agility Pyramid that much, so I won't need the agility levels. And there's no way I'm going to grind for a whip or anything off like Abyssal Demons, because that would take hundreds, if not thousands of hours of temple trekking. Probably, I would have to watch Settled's video, I have no idea, probably a few hundred hours. Oh, I also did forget to mention, by the way, if you're wondering about the Lumberjack outfit I was wearing, you actually get it off the zombies and this on the route where you have to fix the bridge. The drop chance for it is actually really high. I think it's like 1 in 4 for most pieces, so if you wanted to get it for yourself, you could definitely run down here and do it. I was actually thinking about doing Monkey Madness, because while I was doing Darkness of Halavale, like, that's a pretty long quest, and I spent most of it in a danger zone, so that definitely proves I can do longer quests like that. The only part of Monkey Madness that worries me is where you have to run through a tunnel under the island, and I think you have to do it twice. That is going to cost me a lot of prayer pots, and the other problem is I'm going to have to find a safe place I can teleport out just in case, because I got to get into a safe chunk, but the prayer altar right above the temple is there, so that's definitely going to be a place I could run to if I need to get out in a hurry. The other thing I was thinking about, I'm probably going to go ahead and just stick with getting 55 Slayer, do the Agility Pyramid, buy a ton of Death Runes and the Mystic Robe, and then probably just go ahead and go back to my Barrows runs. I was thinking about it, I'm definitely going to stick to killing the 4 melee brothers, because that's just really easy and I barely need to use any resources. I will kill Carol's, but I'm only going to add him to the rotation after I get like a piece or two of tanking gear, because even with the setup I have now, and honestly, I think after I get the Mithril Boots and the Rune Kite Shield, he just hits way too hard and way too often. That's going to be where I'll go ahead and call it for the end of this episode. I definitely made a lot of progress towards getting better at doing Barrows runs and figuring out what I'll need to make kills a lot more efficient. I'm going to spend a lot of time before the next episode researching the best setups I can come up with before I start taking on other boss content and some harder quests with the Barrows items I could possibly end up getting. I've also been kicking around the idea of some kind of mini-series I could do, since doing nothing but Barrows runs for a while is definitely going to wear me down. I honestly love making these videos, and the feedback I've gotten from everyone really keeps me motivated to make more content. Whatever kind of series I decide on won't have any really intense goals, it'll just be something more fun I can play around with. I'll probably go ahead and make a poll on my channel soon and see what kind of content would interest you guys. If you're enjoying the series so far, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be the first to know when a new video comes out. And with that said, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next episode.